I was sitting at the dining table scrolling on my phone when my dad came home from work. The moment the door closed, he started ranting, complaining about how everyone depends on him, how he does everything, and how nobody appreciates him. I quietly stood up and started cleaning the living room just to avoid another argument. But even then, he kept going. He began accusing me of making things harder for him and asking if my older brother had been poisoning my mind again with stories about how controlling he is. I didn't even know what to say. Eventually, he stormed into his room. A few seconds later, I heard things slamming, drawers, doors, whatever he could grab. It was late at night, and we live in a townhouse with thin walls. Our neighbors can hear everything. His girlfriend tried calming him down, but he wouldn't listen. I was shaking. His girlfriend came to check on me and asked, "Are you okay?" I told her, "How can I be okay when he screams at me every day?" I tried hiding in my room, but she kept knocking, trying to convince me that he's just stressed and that he needs you right now. But I snapped. I opened the door and said, "No, he doesn't need me. He just wants someone to blame." She kept trying to defend him, trying to paint him like he was the one hurting. Then my dad suddenly barged out of his room and started yelling again, louder than earlier. His girlfriend kept talking over us, trying to force us to calm down, but that only made everything worse. I tried to walk away, but my dad stepped in front of me, shouting. I told him to move. He refused. So I pushed past him. That was it for him. He grabbed a metal mug and threw it at the floor, right in front of my feet. Pieces scattered everywhere. All I could think about was our dog stepping on the sharp edges. Then he pointed at me and said, "Try disrespecting me again and see what happens." My hands were shaking. He then shouted, "If you want to leave, go. But don't you dare come back." That was all I needed to hear. When he and his girlfriend went back to the room to argue in private, I grabbed a backpack and one small suitcase. I stuffed whatever I could, my charger, a few clothes, my journal, and texted my cousin and my brother. "SOS, I'm leaving." 10 minutes later, I walked out of the house. I didn't look back. I sat at a bus stop with my suitcase on my lap, still shaking. My phone lit up, Dad calling. I declined. Then I blocked his number. My cousin picked me up with her dad at almost midnight, and I stayed with them until we arranged that I'd live with my aunt in her apartment. Now I'm far from him. It's quieter, safer. But the truth? I'm not fully okay. Sometimes I still feel guilty. Sometimes I feel relief and guilt at the same time. He still sends messages asking if I'm fine, but I never respond. My aunt does it for me. Leaving was hard, but staying would have broken me. And if someone out there is stuck in a home that feels like a ticking time bomb, talk to someone, reach out. You deserve peace too. I made it out, and so can you. You're not alone. When I arrived at my aunt's apartment that night, everything felt unreal. It was quiet, too quiet. No angry footsteps, no slammed doors, no shouting echoing through the walls. Just silence. My aunt opened the door, took one look at me, and immediately hugged me. And that's when I finally broke. I didn't cry earlier, at the bus stop, in the car, or even while packing. But the moment someone treated me gently, I fell apart. She didn't ask questions right away. She just said, "You're safe here. Rest first." I slept on her couch that night with my suitcase beside me, shoes still half on because I was afraid I'd need to run again. Around 2 a.m., I woke up to my phone buzzing nonstop. My dad had switched to unknown numbers after I blocked him. Voicemails, messages, missed calls. Some said, "Come home. Stop being dramatic. You made your decision. Don't expect me to chase you. Answer me now." The mixed messages messed with my head. Part of me felt guilty. Another part felt relief. And a small part felt terrified. I deleted the notifications without listening to the voicemails. I couldn't handle hearing his voice. The next morning, my aunt made breakfast and said, "No pressure. When you're ready, you can talk." I nodded, but my mind was somewhere else. At school, people noticed something was off. I didn't have the energy to pretend everything was normal. I kept flinching when someone raised their voice or closed a locker too loud. My brother called me during lunch break. He whispered, "Dad's furious, but he's acting like you abandoned him. He's telling the family he did nothing wrong." I expected that. My father always made himself the hero in every story. Then my brother added, "He's blaming me too, says I influenced you." Guilt hit me like a punch to the chest. That night, I talked to my aunt again. She told me something that stuck with me. People who refuse to see their own faults will always rewrite the story so they feel like the victim. It made sense, but it still hurt. A few days later, my dad actually showed up outside my aunt's building. He didn't ring the doorbell. He just stayed outside in his car, waiting, watching. My heart dropped when I saw him through the window. My aunt calmly closed the blinds and said, "You don't have to see him. You don't owe him anything." He stayed parked there for almost an hour. No calls, no messages, just silence. I didn't know if he was waiting for me or if he was waiting for me to feel scared enough to come outside. But I didn't go. That night, I realized something. Leaving wasn't the end. It was the beginning of a long, messy healing process, and I was still right in the middle of it. I didn't know what the next months would look like. If he would get worse, if he would stop trying, or if he would pretend like nothing happened. But one thing I knew for sure, I wasn't going back. Not this time. Weeks passed. At my aunt's place, I started to feel normal again. I could eat without feeling sick. I could sleep without panicking at every noise. I could breathe without someone telling me it was too loud. But my dad didn't stop. He sent messages through relatives, through my brother, through random Facebook accounts. Some were angry, ungrateful, drama queen. You turned your back on your own father. Some were fake sweet. Come home. Let's talk. I miss you. Your room is still here. Some were guilt traps. You broke this family. Everyone's asking why you hate me. I ignored all of them. Until one day, I got a message from my brother. "Dad is planning to come get you. Today." My chest tightened. He didn't say, "Visit." He said, "Get." I told my aunt instantly. She didn't panic. She acted like she'd been expecting this moment. She said, "Then this ends today." She grabbed her keys. We drove straight to the police station to talk to the officials. Not to file a case yet, just to establish a record. I didn't want to make things legal. I just wanted to be left alone. But my aunt explained something I never thought about. Protecting your peace isn't being disrespectful. It's choosing survival. The officers listened as I explained everything. The yelling, the threats, the glass thrown, the years of fear. I cried halfway through. Not because I was scared, but because I finally heard myself out loud. When it was done, the police official said, "If he goes near you and forces you to go home, call us immediately. You don't have to return." For the first time, someone in authority believed me. We went home. And right on time. My dad's car slowed to a stop in front of the building. My stomach dropped. He stepped out, looked up at the windows, and shouted, "I know you're in there. Come outside." I froze. My aunt didn't. She walked outside with the paper from the police and said, loud and clear, "She doesn't want to see you. You are not allowed to harass her. If you continue, we'll file a blotter and escalate it." My dad went silent. Not angry, not yelling, just stunned. Like he never imagined someone would stand up to him. He looked toward the window where he thought I might be watching. His face softened, not with love, but with the shock of losing control. He whispered, "You really chose them over me?" My aunt stepped closer and said, "She chose freedom." He didn't answer. He just shook his head, got back in his car, and drove away. Not fast, not furious, just defeated. That was the last day he ever came to see me. That night, I sat on my aunt's balcony and cried, not from fear this time, but from relief. For the first time in my life, I felt like my choices mattered. Like I had a future that didn't revolve around someone else's anger. like I finally belonged somewhere. No screaming, no threats, no walking on eggshells, just peace. And sometimes, peace is the loudest victory you can ever have. I don't know what my relationship with my father will be years from now. Maybe we'll talk again someday. Maybe we won't. But I do know this. I survived. I escaped. And I chose myself. And if anyone listening is still stuck in a home that drains the life out of you, know this: your worth is not measured by someone else's anger. You deserve safety, peace, and a life that doesn't hurt to wake up in. I found mine, and you will too. This is my final break, my final chapter, my final goodbye, my final